The dry wind swept across the African plains, carrying whispers of something unseen. Ranger Noah was repairing the fence near the edge of the reserve when he heard a faint cry. It was weak, broken, almost drowned by the rustling grass. He froze. That sound didn't belong to the wind. Following the noise, Noah moved slowly through the tall golden grass. Each step echoed with tension, the cry growing sharper, more desperate. Suddenly, he spotted movement, a lion cub trapped in a tangle of old wire. Its tiny paw was bleeding, its eyes filled with panic. Noah's instincts screamed caution. Where there's a cub, the mother is never far. He scanned the horizon, feeling the air grow heavier with silence. Then, from behind a nearby acacia, a massive lioness emerged. Her golden eyes locked on him, not with fury but fear. The lioness stood completely still, her tail twitching once, twice. Her gaze darted between Noah and her trapped cub, torn between rage and helplessness. Noah slowly knelt, his hands raised, showing no threat. He whispered softly, "I'm here to help." Time froze as the lioness took a cautious step forward. Noah's pulse thundered in his ears, but he didn't move. The cub whimpered, its small voice slicing through the tension. That sound broke the barrier. The lioness stopped, watching closely. Noah pulled a small multi-tool from his belt, his movements deliberate and slow. He carefully began cutting the wire that bound the cub's paw. The lioness growled low, a trembling warning, but stayed her ground. Every second felt like an eternity balancing between life and death. Finally, the last strand snapped free, and the cub stumbled into Noah's hands. He saw blood, deep cuts, and trembling weakness. He knew infection would set in fast under this heat. Without thinking, he wrapped the cub in his jacket. The lioness roared, a deep, shattering sound that shook his bones. Noah froze again, eyes locked on hers. But then she did something he never expected. She sat down. Her head bowed slightly, as if surrendering the cub to him. That single gesture erased every rule Noah had ever known about predators. He backed away slowly, carrying the injured cub toward his jeep. The lioness followed, step for step, her growl now replaced by deep, uneasy breathing. It wasn't threat anymore, it was trust. At the ranger station, Noah and his team cleaned the wounds. The cub flinched under antiseptic, but its heartbeat steadied. They named her Kaya, meaning forgiveness. Outside the station, the lioness paced for hours, never leaving. That night, Noah watched her from the window. The moonlight traced her outline, a mother waiting for a sign. Inside, the cub slept peacefully beside the heater. For the first time, Noah felt the wild wasn't just danger, it was emotion. By dawn, the cub was strong enough to stand. The moment Noah carried her outside, a distant roar echoed. The lioness appeared from the shadows, her muscles tense and trembling. Kaya limped forward, mewing softly. Mother and cub reunited under the soft golden sunrise. The lioness sniffed her baby, then turned to Noah. For a second, their eyes met again, not predator and man, but equals. Then she nudged the cub and disappeared into the grass. Weeks passed, but the encounter haunted Noah's thoughts. He'd seen trust, real trust, in the wild, something science could never explain. Every patrol, every sunrise, reminded him of that bond. He never saw the lioness again, until the storm. Months later, a violent thunderstorm tore through the savanna. Flash floods ripped through dry gullies, trapping animals everywhere. Noah's radio crackled, a distress signal from a nearby research camp. He sped off, tires carving through mud and chaos. Halfway there, his jeep skidded to a halt. The road was gone. In its place, a raging river of brown water churned violently. Across the flood, a faint roar echoed, one that froze his soul. A lioness was trapped on a collapsing embankment. Through sheets of rain, Noah saw her, injured, cornered, and desperate. And beside her, clinging to the slippery earth, was another cub. The resemblance was unmistakable. Kaya had grown. It was the same lioness who once trusted him. Without hesitation, Noah grabbed a rope from the back of his jeep. He tied it around a tree and waded into the flood, each step fighting the current. The lioness saw him and froze, but didn't retreat. It was as if she remembered. He reached the ledge, the mud crumbling beneath his boots. The cub was slipping, its claws barely gripping the earth. With one arm, Noah grabbed it, pulling the trembling body to safety. The lioness lunged forward, not to attack, but to help push. Together, man and beast fought against the flood. The cub was safe, but Noah was losing balance, the rope slipping. Then, something impossible, the lioness bit down on his jacket, holding him steady. For the first time, she was saving him. The current finally eased, leaving them both drenched and shaking. Noah crawled onto solid ground, gasping for air. The lioness stood a few meters away, her eyes glowing with calm recognition. They didn't need words, they both remembered. Kaya pressed her head against her mother's side, watching Noah quietly. The storm passed, leaving behind a quiet, broken landscape. Rainwater shimmered in puddles, reflecting the pink dawn. It felt like a second chance written by nature itself. As Noah stood, the lioness took one slow step closer. Her gaze was steady, fearless, filled with gratitude. Then she turned away, guiding her cub into the horizon. The grass closed around them like a curtain of gold. Back at camp, no one believed his story. They called it instinct, coincidence, survival. But Noah knew better. He'd seen empathy in the wild. And that was something science couldn't measure. Days later, he returned to the same floodplain. Only the faint paw prints remained, half-washed by rain. He knelt beside them, tracing the marks with his fingers. A quiet smile crossed his face. That night, he wrote in his journal under the dim lantern light. "Some bonds go beyond species," he wrote softly. "They're built on faith, not fear." And he knew it was true. Months passed, and the savanna flourished again. Grass grew tall, rivers flowed freely, and life returned. Every roar in the distance reminded him of that day. Of a lioness who had trusted, and been trusted in return. Then, one sunset patrol, Noah stopped his jeep. On a distant hill stood a silhouette, two lions, side by side. One of them turned, staring straight at him across the plains. It was her. For a long, silent moment, they simply watched each other. The same wind that once carried fear now carried peace. The lioness bowed her head slightly before walking away. Noah smiled. Their story had come full circle. In the vast, endless savanna, two worlds had met and changed forever. Not through power, but through trust. The wild had shown its heart, and man had finally listened. And somewhere in the grass, a quiet roar answered.